I had no idea you ran voucher codes. I'm a voucher freak. I can't buy anything on the internet until I've identified the potential for a voucher.
Yeah.
So if I click through from your...
Yeah, from our side rather than anyone else's. We'll have the best stuff as well, obviously.
I was going to ask, what are your, because obviously Google sort of has control at the moment. What are your sort of feelings about Google in general? I mean, there's a lot of people seem to be...
as in, like, you know, should you have used a competitor?
Yeah.
Give all your data to them? If I told you that you should use a variety of search engines and you know, not give all your data to Google, I'd be a complete hypocrite, because that's what I do. I use Gmail, I use analytics, I use their search engine above everything else. I think there's obviously the debate around sort of having such a powerhouse of information is a fair one, and one that I think will continue to be discussed. From a business perspective, though, it's hard to ignore how important that site is. You know, you'd be shooting yourself in the foot if you decided you're going to focus all your attention on Yahoo. So, in terms of like ideas and business and entrepreneurialism, it just has to be Google. You have to just make sure that you're optimizing for that search engine, or working towards, you know, pleasing that search engine rather than anyone else. But if you wanted to get into a debate about whether or not there should be a sort of a wider breadth of search engines, then I completely agree. And I think that the real scary thing is that the amount of data that they're creating is meaning that their position ahead of everyone else is increasing sort of every day. But what Microsoft have been able to do with Bing is encouraging. They've increased their market share quite considerably. And obviously with the rise of Twitter and the real-time web, you know, Google's a little bit shaky, and they've had to suggest over the last month even that there's going to be things that they're going to do to change, so that they're starting to index different content. So yeah, the sort of whole search thing's by no means over. I just think from a business perspective, right now, you're going to have to focus on Google.
So if you were starting a new business, would you recommend targeting, let's say, 60-40, 60 Google and 40 Bing maybe? Or would you go a lot more towards Google?
Yeah, I mean a lot more towards Google. I think its dominance in the UK is even greater than it is worldwide. I think it's like 90%. Don't quote me on that. I'm being filmed. I think it's as much as that. And yeah, I mean, I think you need to focus on what you're doing. I mean, the thing about, I mean, if you're talking about like search engine optimization, they tend to be, you know, if you please one, you'll please the rest of them. Google's technology is obviously much more advanced than Yahoo's and Microsoft's, but I think if you plan to make sure that you appear, if you rank well for terms in Google, you're going to ultimately do well in Yahoo and Bing as well. Paid search, obviously, is slightly different. If you're advertising in Google from a paid perspective, if you didn't have the resource to focus on all three search engines, then yes, you'd have to just stick with Google.
Dan, with Wheel of Local,
Yeah.
how did you get your data? Where did it come from?
We licensed it from a company. So it's a private company that focuses around licensing local business data.
So what was it based on? What was the core?
The product.
Yeah, not the product, the one element that was driving the data for all the local businesses with postcodes?
As in like what people were searching for.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, postcode was is definitely something that people search for a lot. But it was mainly the popular stuff was around restaurants and bars and sort of social sort of like venues, rather than say like plumbers and things like that. I think just because it interests people maybe slightly more when it's something like, you know, cultural or creative like that. But obviously I think ultimately the real value lied in being able to get people talking about plumbers and electricians and stuff like that, because those are the people who were maybe more willing to like pay for business.
Yeah.
About We Love Local, I'm just interested, when the company first started working on it, I think that's when you started, isn't it?
Well, about a year before.
Right,
the idea hadn't really developed when I joined, and it went from there.
Did the company always think the exit strategy for that would be to sell it on? Was
No,
that
not
the
at all.
aim? Or?
No, not at all. There was a variety of ideas, and I think, as I sort of mentioned there, we knew that the classified stuff around like plumbers and, you you know, local business traders like that would be the way you go. I think there's a website called Kite. I don't know if anyone has come across that. Big in Europe now. That's where I think we see it would have gone. They have, or a website called Yelp in the States. They actually have an advertising platform for small businesses, and I think that's the way you go with it. The thing is, it's not a route to money business. It wasn't like day one you're trading and all of a sudden you're off the ground. Compared to voucher codes, you had to you had to be in it for the long haul, because you had to develop a community and get in contact with the local businesses and things like that. So no, the goal wasn't to sell it. The goal was to turn it into a business. But we were just fortunate at the time, and the competition was increasing, a lot in the space, and it seemed like a good idea.
So Dyson, I was just going to ask.
Last question.
Sorry, you might have already said this. What did you do at university?
Oh, sorry, politics and economics.
Right.
My background isn't in the technical one.
So why did you decide to go into start your own company? And why?
I really liked computers and the internet, and I was a bit of a geek, I suppose, when I was younger. But equally, I didn't want to learn the technical stuff. That didn't really interest me. I tried that a little bit when I was younger. No. I mean, I've got basic skills, but really, really basic. I like messing around with stuff and playing with computers and things like that. But it wasn't really what interested me. It was more from the business and the ideas. I wrote my thesis or dissertation, whatever it's called, in final year at university on typologies of communication online. So the idea that the web was changing the way we communicate and the way we participate politically and things like that. So the web was always a really interesting sort of thing for me, but I didn't want to. I suppose I was just also really interested in politics and economics, and I felt that there was going to be overlap, and also wanted to start a business.
So was it a group of you?
There was three of us, me and another guy at university, and
obviously they were website.
there was one guy who had more skills. Although I actually built the first website myself, but got rid of that job quite quickly. It was terrible.
We'll have to stop there. Thanks very much, Dan.
No worries.